Can you solve all these Class 2 Computer Chapter 3 parts of a computer questions? ALU means good job. Arithmetic logic unit works well here. LI means you're right. Liquid crystal display is the correct answer. What is CPU? Well picked. Central processing unit is the correct answer. Computer is a sharp thinking. Machine is the right choice. Output device? Great thinking. Monitor is the right choice. CPU stands for great job. Central processing unit is the accurate answer. VIDU stands for strong choice. Visual display unit is the right answer. IPO stands for well reasoned. Input process output is the correct choice. Two input devices. Solid response. Keyboard and mouse is a valid choice. A mouse is used to nicely done. Point and select icons is a solid answer. A smartphone has a nice selection. Touchscreen is the correct and valid answer. The dash has keys. Perfect. Keyboard is the correct choice. CPU stands for dash. Nice work. You chose Central Processing Unit, and it is correct. What is a computer? Clear logic. Your choice machine is sound. Dash are big in size. Excellent choice. Desktop computer is the right answer. Do keyboard has numbers? Well done. Yes is the right choice. The shape of CD is dash. Right again. Circle is a valid answer. Expansion of CD is dash. You got it. Your choice compact disc is right. What does ROM stand for? Exactly. Read-only memory makes sense. The brain of computer is smart move. CPU is an accurate answer. Computer can be seen in bravo. All of the above is the answer. What does DVD stands for? On track. Digital versatile disk is the correct answer. Is really a good password. Correct response. No is the most accurate answer. I look like a TV. Who am I? Right choice. Monitor is the best answer. A monitor looks like a dash. Excellent. TV screen is a brilliant choice. I sit on a pad. I am a dash. You chose mouse. And it is correct. A mouse is a pointing device. Correct. True is the right answer. The brain of a computer dash. Smart pick. Central processing unit is the correct choice. Choose the correct spelling. Valid point. Monitor is true. Which one is not a computer? Good thinking. Diary is the right answer. What is the full form of CPU? Nice selection. Central processing unit is the correct and valid answer. I have many keys. I am a dash. Well reasoned. Keyboard is the correct choice. What part of a PC do we speak? Great job. Microphone is the accurate answer. A computer work on man's dash. Nice work. You chose orders, and it is correct. A scroll mouse is dash types. Clear logic. Your choice too is sound. I look like a TV. I am a dash. Right choice. Monitor is the best answer. It is the core of the computer. Excellent. CPU is a brilliant choice. What part of a PC do you type? Exactly. Keyboard makes sense. A mouse has dash buttons on it. On track. 2 is the correct answer. A computer works on dash a cycle? Well done. IPO is the right choice. Used to key all capsule letters. Valid point. Caps lock is true. A monitor is also known as dash. Perfect. Visual display unit is the correct choice. Where is the hard disk present? Correct response. CPU is the most accurate answer. The part which looks like a TV. Excellent choice. Monitor is the right answer. CPU is the dash of the computer. You're right. Brain is the correct answer. A computer does not have a dash. Good thinking. IQ is the right answer. What happens if you right-click? Sharp thinking. A menu comes up is the right choice. We can watch stories on the CPU. Nicely done. False is a solid answer. The printed paper is called dash. Right again. Hard copy is a valid answer. How many parts the computer has? Correct. 4 is the right answer. The monitor is also called dash. Good job. Screen works well here. A dash does not have any feelings. You got it. Your choice computer is right. The CPU helps to remember things. Bravo. True is the answer. A printer is used to type letters. Solid response. False is a valid choice. Which of the following is software? Great thinking. Operating system is the right choice. On what cycle does a computer work? Well picked. IPO cycle is the correct answer. What are the 2 types of computer? Strong choice. Low CD and CRUT is the right answer. Keyboard and mouse can be wireless. Smart move. True is an accurate answer. The standard keyboard has dash keys. You chose 1 on 4, and it is correct. Dash is used for selecting the text. Smart pick. Mouse is the correct choice. The mouse pointer is seen on the dash. Correct. Monitor is the right answer. Dash is a type of printer given below. Well picked. Dot matrix is the correct answer. The dash monitor consumes least power. Great thinking. LED is the right choice. Erases text up to the insertion point. Right again. Delete is a valid answer. We cannot draw pictures on a computer. Great job. False is the accurate answer. The computer can work without the CPU. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound. It is used to record different sounds. Solid response. Microphone is a valid choice. Dash devices are used to listen music. Sharp thinking. Speaker is the right choice. A device mainly used for playing games. Excellent choice. Joystick is the right answer. Displays text and graphics on a screen. You got it. Your choice monitor is right. Where are all of your documents saved? Well done. Hard drive is the right choice. CPU cabinet is also known as a CPU box. Valid point. True is true. There are DAS, main parts of a computer. Excellent. 4 is a brilliant choice. How many parts are there in a computer? On track. 4 is the correct answer. Dash stores large amount of information. Smart pick. Hard disk is the correct choice. A desktop computer has DAS-ish main parts. Perfect. 4 is the correct choice. Which of these is an output device? Nicely done. Monitor is a solid answer. Which kind of printers we commonly used? Good thinking. All of these is the right answer. A monitor is also called a display world. Nice selection. False is the correct and valid answer. The buttons on a keyboard is called keys. Bravo. True is the answer. Your eyes are input device of your body. Good job. True works well here. A computer mouse has 4 buttons on it. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Printed copy on a paper is known as dash. You're right. Hard copy is the correct answer. I am the brain of a computer. I am a dash. You chose CPU, and it is correct. I help you in typing your name. Who am I? Smart move. Keyboard is an accurate answer. I am the brain of the computer. Who am I? Nice work. You chose CPU, and it is correct. A device that enters sound onto a computer. Exactly. Microphone makes sense. Pen drive is also called as a dash drivia. Well reasoned. Flash is the correct choice. CPU is also called the dash of a computer. Right choice. Brain is the best answer. Which one does not let us point and click? Strong choice. Keyboard is the right answer. We can design clothes, cars at sea using dash. Exactly. Computer makes sense. What type of device is a computer printer? Nice selection. Output is the correct and valid answer. This part of the computer helps in typing. Valid point. Keyboard is true. Which part of a computer is used for typing? Good job. Keyboard works well here. Moves the insertion point to a preset point. Perfect. Tab is the correct choice. Dash helps us to move the page up and down. Strong choice. Scroll wheel is the right answer. How is storage size measured on a computer? Correct. Bytes is the right answer. The buttons on the keyboard are called dash. On track, keys is the correct answer. Find the missing letters -Rix. Well done. OT is the right choice. This part of a computer is like a TV screen. Well picked. Monitor is the correct answer. Which part of the computer shows the output? Excellent choice. Monitor is the right answer. Dash controls all parts of a computer system. Sharp thinking. Q is the right choice. A dash needs rest after working for some time. Nicely done. Man is a solid answer. What part of the computer do you use to type? Nice work. You chose keyboard and it is correct. T. Dash is regarded as the father of computer. Excellent. Charles Babbage is a brilliant choice. Dash can be words, numbers, pictures, or sound. Smart pick. Data is the correct choice. How many alphabets are there on the keyboard? Correct response. 26 is the most accurate answer. The dash is called the brain of the computer. You're right. CPU is the correct answer. The printed copy on a paper is called the dash. Smart move. Hard copy is an accurate answer. The part of a computer that looks like a TV is... You got it? Your choice monitor is right. Read data from and write data to a flash drive. Well reasoned. OSB is the correct choice. Inkjet, dot matrix, laser are the type of dash. Solid response. Printers is a valid choice. Which part holds the brains of the computer? Clear logic. Your choice computer case is sound, which is a screen that shows texts and images. Right choice. Monitor is the best answer. A monitor shows all the work done on a computer. Great thinking. True is the right choice. Input devices allow us to the dash to the computer. Bravo. Send information is the answer. If a computer were a person, what is the brain? Great job. Central processing unit is the accurate answer. Which device is used to move around the screen? Good thinking. Mouse is the right answer. I used to take printout of your work. Who am I? You chose printer. And it is correct! I am an output that creates sounds for the user. Right again. Speaker is a valid answer. Which part of the computer gives us a printout? Right again. Printer is a valid answer. I am an output that displays images for the user. Nice selection. Monitor is the correct and valid answer. I show you so many things like videos and photos. Excellent. Monitor is a brilliant choice. The output of a computer is seen on which device? Valid point. Monitor is true. Ups keeps the computer on when the dash goes off. Bravo. Electricity is the answer. A dash is used to point at things on the monitor. Good job. Mouse works well here. A computer displays dash after processing the data. Right choice. Output is the best answer. All the parts of the computer are connected to the on track. CPU box is the correct answer. A dash helps in playing games and drawing pictures. Smart move. Mouse is an accurate answer. It is known as the brain and heart of the computer. Great job. Central processing unit is the accurate answer. Which device helps to point the items on a monitor? Correct response. Mouse is the most accurate answer. The output printed on a paper is called a dash copy. You're right. Hard is the correct answer. CDs and DVDs are an example of what type of storage? Great thinking. Optical is the right choice. Which of the following is not a part of the computer? Well picked. Printer is the correct answer. I store information for a short while dash I am the. Good thinking. RAM is the right answer. Used to capitalize letters keyed with the right hand. Sharp thinking. Left shift is the right choice. A dash displays all the work that we do on a computer. Well reasoned. Monitor is the correct choice. Dash allows us to listen to music and hear the sound. Solid response. CPU is a valid choice. A dash is used to record our voice into the computer. Well done. Microphone is the right choice. We can use the dash to draw pictures on the computer. Smart pick. Mouse is the correct choice. What is used to type words and numbers on a computer? Strong choice. Keyboard is the right answer. Dash shows the text which you type through a keyboard. Nicely done. Monitor is a solid answer. What are the two most well-known CPU making companies? Nice work. You chose AMD and Intel, and it is correct. Space is the insertion point forward one space at a time. You chose spacebar, and it is correct. Computers are used in dash for keeping records of books. Clear logic. Your choice library is sound. Things that are parts inside a computer are called dash. Excellent choice. Components is the right answer. Dash is used for hearing sound without disturbing others. You got it. Your choice headphone is right. Which part of the computer helps in listening the audio? Correct. Speaker is the right answer. A machine that can store and process information is dash. Exactly. Computer makes sense. A unit connected to a computer that prints copy on paper. Perfect. Laser printer is the correct choice. Which device plays sounds from the computer to the user? Correct. Speakers is the right answer. What type of devices are computer speakers or headphones? Great job. Output is the accurate answer. Which of the following is both an input and output device? Bravo! Microphone is the answer.
A dash prints the information from a computer onto a paper.
Well picked. Printer is the correct answer.
Which of the following is an example of a pointing device?
Good thinking. Trackball is the right answer.
We are both inputs that control what the computer does dash.
Nice work. You chose keyboard and mouse, and it is correct.
Programs or instructions that tell the computer what to do.
Excellent. Software is a brilliant choice.
Moves the insertion point to the left and erases as it goes.
You chose backspace, and it is correct.
State true or false. A printer shows the text on the monitor.
Strong choice. False is the right answer.
Identify the part which is used to listen the recorded sounds.
Right choice. Speakers is the best answer.
Which computer device is used to draw pictures and play games?
On track. Mouse is the correct answer.
A magnetic device used to store information and all our files.
Right again. Hard drive is a valid answer.
I help the computer to run complicated games more quickly. Dash.
Valid point. Graphics card is true.
I am the brain of the computer and I run programs. Dash I am.
Perfect. CPU is the correct choice.
The extra things that you connect to a computer are called dash.
Great thinking. Peripherals is the right choice. You must not share your personal information over the internet.
Correct response.
Yes is the most accurate answer.
A graphics processing unit that is integrated into the CPU die.
Well reasoned. Integrated GPU is the correct choice.
Which part of a computer is used to point and select an object?
Well done. Mouse is the right choice.
It is a device used to transfer images or text into a computer.
Smart pick. Scanner is the correct choice.
I am used to click and select any object on the monitor. Who am I?
Exactly. Mouse makes sense.
I am round in shape. I can store a lot of information. I am a dash.
You got it. Your choice CD is right.
Which part lets you hear different sounds created by the computer?
You're right. Speaker is the correct answer. Dash stores large amount of information and easy to fit and carry. Excellent choice. Pen drive is the right answer.
A computer depends on dash and cannot work for long time without it.
Good job. Electricity works well here.
Which part of the computer shows you information from the computer?
Sharp thinking. Monitor is the right choice.
Which one of the following parts of a computer looks like an animal?
Nice selection. Mouse is the correct and valid answer.
Which of the following components can be cooled with liquid cooling?
Clear logic. Your choice CPU is sound.
Which of these tools would be the best choice for building a wire map?
Nicely done. Cable tester is a solid answer.
Switches the number pad on and off. Must be on for the numbers to work. smart move. Number lock is an accurate answer.
A dash is used for typing letters, words, numbers, and special symbols.
Solid response. Keyboard is a valid choice.
Which is a device that is used to produce texts and images on a paper?
Correct. Printer is the right answer.
Which of the following is a fixed storage drive mechanical components?
Great thinking. Solid-state drive is the right choice.
A camera attached to a computer that puts short videos on your computer.
Solid response. Webcam is a valid choice.
A dash does all the calculations and displays the result on the monitor.
Excellent. CPU is a brilliant choice.
Unscramble the given word and choose the parts of a computer upon one yek robe.
Sharp thinking. Keyboard is the right choice.
Which is a big box that houses the important components of the computer?
Perfect. Computer case is the correct choice. Snapchat, Google Chrome, Canvas, and Adobe Photoshop are examples of dash. Right again. Application software is a valid answer.
This component allows users to enter text, numbers, and other information.
Well reasoned. Keyboard is the correct choice. I allow the computer to connect to the internet. Dash. On track. Network card is the correct answer. Computers are used in dash for storing details of items and printing bills.
Nicely done. Sharps is a solid answer. Portable digital storage that allows the user to view and alter documents.
Valid point. Whose flash drive is true?
This component visually displays information generated by the computer dash.
Right choice. Monitor is the best answer. It is used to take a copy on a paper of information stored in your computer. Well done. Printer is the right choice.
Which part looks like a TV screen and lets you see your work and your files?
Smart pick. Monitor is the correct choice.
A dash is used to point, select, and move any object on the computer screen.
Exactly. Mouse makes sense.
The main circuit board, which contains sockets and accepts additional boards. Strong choice. Motherboard is the right answer.
Results produced by a computer. This can be either texts, pictures, or movies. Bravo! Output is the answer. A piece of hardware for a computer. It allows a user to print items on paper. Great job. Printer is the accurate answer. Dash allows us to listen to music and hear sound effects stored in a computer. You chose speaker, and it is correct. What is the name given to the parts of a computer that you can actually touch? You're right. Computer parts is the correct answer. Causes the insertion point to move to the left margin and down to the next line.
Smart move. Enter is an accurate answer.
Everything else in the computer is connected to me. I'm the main circuit board. Excellent choice. Motherboard is the right answer. The devices that can help us put data into the computer are called dash devices. Good job. Input works well here. I store information permanently dash. Well picked.
Hard drive is the correct answer. Which of these tools would you most commonly use when disassembling a mobile device? You got it. Your choice anti-static mat is right. A Dash computer has a touch screen on which we can write using a special purpose pen. Nice selection. Tablet is the correct and valid answer.
A circuit board to which all computer components are directly or indirectly attached.
Good thinking. Motherboard is the right answer. Controls a computer's tasks and manages system resources to optimize performance. A Dash. Correct response. Operating system is the most accurate answer. What are the missing word scanner is a device used to transfer dash or dash into a dash.
Nice work. You chose text, image, computer, and it is correct.
Which part lets you point to objects on your screen, click on them, and even move them?
Clear logic. Your choice mouse is sound.
The size and shape of a component. For example, X and Mini X are two for motherboards. Nicely done. Form factor is a solid answer.
Ready to test your tech knowledge. Which of these gadgets lets you input data into a computer?
Good job. Keyboard works well here. Which part of a computer takes the text and pictures on your screen and prints them onto paper? Smart pick. Printer is the correct choice.
These are parts of a computer that you can see and touch and also make up a computer system dash.
You're right. Hardware is the correct answer. An arrangement of letter, figure, symbol, control, function, and editing keys and a numeric keypad. Nice selection. Keyboard is the correct and valid answer. Which is a device that is used to input letter, numbers, and other functions for the computer to do. Well reasoned. Keyboard is the correct choice.
My first letter is in the word pet. My last letter is in the word rat. I can take printouts from you.
You got it. Your choice printer is right. The information which is coming from the outside to the inside of the computer ready for processing. Correct. Input is the right answer.
Programs which can be used on a particular computer system. In other devices, they are called apps.
Right again. Software is a valid answer.
Which of the following internal PC components is responsible for storing the data on a long-term basis?
Strong choice. Headed is the right answer. Carries out the instructions of a computer program. Performs basic input-output operations of the system. Excellent choice. Central Processing Unit is the right answer. Allows the user to insert text without deleting previously keyed text. Also switches to type over mode. Exactly. Insert makes sense. Which kind of device can monitor power changes, check cable continuity, and determine if a fuse is blown? Great thinking. Multimeter is the right choice. A newer style drive that has no moving parts, but uses flash memory to emulate a conventional hard disk drive. On track. Solid-state drive is the correct answer. One of the arbitrary insertion points in an expansion bus based on a specific technology or PLY, for example. Excellent. Expansion slot is a brilliant choice. Mouse has 2 buttons. Well picked. True is the correct answer.
The main circuit board, which contains sockets and accepts additional boards. It is also the main board of a computer. Smart move. Motherboard is an accurate answer. An embedded CPU die in a processor package. More than one of these is usually found in a CPU in a single package today.
Bravo. Core is the answer.
A set of signal pathways that allows information and signals to travel between components inside or outside of a computer.
Right choice. Bus is the best answer.
What kind of computer is this?
Clear logic. Your choice desktop is sound.
Identify the following device.
Nice work. You chose printer, and it is correct. Name the computer hardware shown. Good thinking. Keyboard is the right answer. The keyboard has only number keys. Valid point. No is true.
A disk drive that contains magnetically coated platters in a sealed case and is often used as the main secondary storage medium.
Perfect. Hard disk drive is the correct choice.
This part of the mouse is known as
Sharp thinking. Scroll wheel is the right choice.
This picture shows a computer mouse.
Well done. No is the right choice.
Google Chrome is an example of dash.
Solid response. A web browser is a valid choice.
The computer can work without the CPU.
Great job. False is the accurate answer. I help you get your printouts. Who am I? You chose printer, and it is correct.
This device is referred to as a dash.
Correct response. Printer is the most accurate answer.
Device that allows us to listen to music.
You got it. Your choice both is right.
What is the device shown in the picture?
Nice work. You chose a monitor, and it is correct.
The monitor looks like a washing machine.
Solid response. No is a valid choice.
What do you use the Microsoft program for?
Exactly. Typing stories and reports make sense.
A portable hard drive like this is called a
Well reasoned. Flash drive is the correct choice.
A dash helps us to choose button in monitor.
Correct response. Mouse is the most accurate answer.
The device with many buttons is called dash.
Great job. Keyboard is the accurate answer.
What is the name of this part of a computer?
Great thinking. A monitor is the right choice.
A motherboard form factor that followed the motherboard, and that has given rise to many modern motherboard form factors, such as micro-AX.
Right again. AX is a valid answer.
What type of device is this? CD, DVD, Blu-ray.
Sharp thinking. Storage is the right choice.
A small electronic device containing flash memory that is used for storing data or transferring it to or from a computer, digital camera, etc.
Perfect. Flash drive is the correct choice.
My first letter is in the word hat. My last letter is the word eraser. I am used to listen to music. Nowadays, I come with an attached microphone.
Well picked. Headphone is the correct answer.
CPU is the abbreviation of Central Processing Unit. Well done. Yes is the right choice.
The physical parts of the computer is called dash.
Nicely done. Hardware is a solid answer.
Select the action verb used with this computer tool.
Valid point. Click is true.
A dash is used to hear sounds without disturbing others.
You're right. Headphones is the correct answer.
The part of computer that looks like a television is dash. Right choice. Monitor is the best answer.
This is a keyboard. Is it an input device or output device? You chose input, and it is correct. A computer mouse can help to point things on a computer monitor. Excellent choice. Yes is the right answer. An adapter or component that provides audio output from a device. Correct. Sound card is the right answer.
An adapter or component that provides the GPU memory and an interface to connect to an output device, usually a video display unit which includes projectors.
Strong choice. Video card is the right answer.
I am the most important part of the computer. The brain. What am I? Good thinking. CPU is the right answer.
A dash is the picture that when clicked on will open the program or file.
Clear logic. Your choice icon is sound.
This part of the computer connects the different parts of the computer together.
Excellent. Motherboard is a brilliant choice.
This case contains the brains of the computer. What do we call the brains of a computer?
On track, CPU is the correct answer.
The main integrated circuit of a computer system, consisting of an array of millions of integrated circuits that interfaces with almost all other components and runs application and system processes.
Bravo, CPU is the answer.
A cooling method used to keep CPUs and other hot running components from overheating by pumping a liquid from outside the system through tubing that leads to blocks that mount to the components like heat sinks.
Nice selection. Liquid cooling is the correct and valid answer.
The set of controller chips that monitors and directs the traffic on the motherboard between the buses and components. See North Bridge and South Bridge.
Smart move. Chipset is an accurate answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Smart pick. Contact Narayan Changdar on Facebook is the correct choice.